Before we get going here, I want to send a huge thank you to our newest Patreon member, Richard T. Richard, thank you for joining our community. Thank you for your support. And to all of our patrons out there, thank you all very much for your continued support to what we do in this world. We couldn't do it without you. And Richard, hope we get to share a campsite with you in your new trailer soon. All right, back to the show. We've all been there, right? You're off grid, trying to live your best nomad life, and your laptop dies right as you're about to hit send on a very important meme. Today, I'm testing the Sorein Modular Power Station from AirGear. This thing is basically Legos for adults who are tired of being in the dark. Today we're looking at the 3.2 kilowatt main base kind of main setup and an extra battery here. But stick around because I got some secret menu items, the 1000 watt mobile chassis that is not even on our site yet. I'm basically your personal electrical spy. So yesterday when I pulled into town, I stopped by a warehouse in a nondescript location over here near where I'm staying now. And I got handed a couple of these bags full of these awesome things. And I've spent last night charging it up. I spent today discharging, charging, discharging, charging, so on and so forth. I've been looking forward to testing this thing for a while, but I've been looking for solutions like this to talk to you guys about because I get questions about this all the time. Brad, I just need a little more power. I just want to run my air conditioning for a little while. I just want to do, this, that, the other. And sometimes these power stations like this, mobile battery power stations, are great for that. And this is one thing I wanted to test out. To give you all some validity behind this thing, Rich Lure, founder and owner of AirGear, along with Cheryl there, they're great team, great couple. Really love those guys. And the thought and effort he puts into doing everything is really amazing. So I trust this system automatically just because of those two. But I want to test it out. I just want to see what its capabilities are. You can see I have the AirGear solar panel back there. I tested that solar panel out, I don't know, a couple years ago now with my trailer. So I'll link that video here and you can watch it. Check out their portable panel that fits nicely in the Airstream closet. It pairs well with this thing. And all I did last night was charge it up. And this morning I wanted to get it going, plugged into the trailer and get it started. Now, I have to say this, plugging this system into my trailer is totally different than plugging this system into a normal, not done anything to trailer, so stock trailer, if you will. I have a giant 3000 watt Victron Quattro inverter. I also have a generator on board. I have one Epoch 460 amp hour 12 volt lithium battery. So my whole trailer is really powered all the time with just my inverter being on. So I won't be able to fully test this thing like I would if you have a stock trailer out there, but I can get you some information. So let's get it plugged up and you can start watching things. There's another thing that the camera is sitting on right now that I'll show in a bit, but it's a small mobile. So you see I have this thing sitting on a platform with wheels. These are kind of your off-road wheels, which is nice. But there's also a mobile caddy that has another 1000 watt battery bank in it. So you have the main battery here, and then you have this another battery on the bottom sitting on a cart. So it's 3 pieces and they all come apart. But you can stack these things pretty high and just keep adding more battery down here depending on what you need. Let's get it plugged up to that and plugged up to the solar panel and we'll be moving. One thing you need is an adapter. So if you have a 50 amp service, you need your 50 amp plug. That's also something you can get from AirGear, but it plugs right here in the back. And then your power cord from my trailer hooks directly to this. You should not hook up any type of BMS system to here. It should be power station, dog bone if you need it, your power cord plugged directly into the side of the trailer. That's all I've done. There's no other things. And then from that, I turn this output on, AC output, and on the screen up there, I can start seeing anything going on. So I got input, meaning power coming in, solar or charging systems, whatever you got, and then output, how much power this thing is actually putting out. So I got 83 watts coming out of it right now, and that's just running the systems in my trailer. Again, I have the big Victron inverter turned on right now, so it's inverting on my trailer. And you can't, I don't know if you can see the screen here, but it gives me a countdown. So right now 97 watts coming out of this battery system powering my trailer. And it says if I keep doing what I'm doing, I've got 7 hours and 30 minutes left on the screen, and it's counting down. 7:18. So I'm pulling 110 watts right now, 111. So let me get the solar panel hooked up so I get some juice coming back into the system. AirGear has, so these are the standard Anderson connectors for their DC system here. But the DC system plugs in using this type of port, and I'm blanking on the name of it. So it's XT60. Yeah, XT60 is the little yellow one. That comes standard with many solar panels and many systems of this nature. And they've made a device or made a splitter so you can power it with 2 solar panels if you need to. Whatever solar panel you're using plugging into this thing does not need its own solar charge controller. Like if you plug up here to your standard battery box has, you must have a solar charge controller with that. But with this system, you do not need that. Why? This plug up here is plugged directly to your battery or plugged directly into your 12-volt system, depending on how they wired it. But there's no governor between the two things. So if it just puts power into the battery, it will overcharge your battery. This system has its own battery management system built into it. So I'm going to plug up the battery connector here and get the solar panel out. You can see the solar panel has the small Anderson connector there. So here the fan's kicking on the device. And this time of year, I don't expect to get much solar panel coming in, but I got 0 watts right now. That'll get better as the day goes on, but not much better because of the angle of the sun this time of year. So I'm pulling 1100 watts. Let's go see what Blair's got turned on right now. Again, the thing I can't do with this system, my trailer, this system that I have in my trailer is I can't turn off my inverter because I won't have AC power to the trailer, because it basically, from my shore power plug, it goes up to my inverter, comes into the inverter, and then goes right back out to the inverter and powers the trailer. So I'm going to pull way more power out of this thing using that big inverter in there than I would a standard trailer. Standard trailer, your shore power goes directly to your power box, which supplies power to the trailer, meaning where your circuit breakers are. So your standard shore plug, when you plug into that power goes directly to that circuit breaker box. From off of that circuit breaker box is a pass-through for your converter charger, which charges your batteries. So I don't have any of that system anymore. And one thing people fail to do in their RV life in general, with their inverter specifically, or their generator, or it's more prevalent with the generator because you don't want to hear the noise. But if I have a standard stock Airstream from the dealership, from the factory, and I'm using my inverter, meaning I'm powering the set number of outlets in your trailer to run a MacBook or charge a laptop or whatever, watch a TV, whatever you have plugged into those inverter outlets. When I'm not using those things, I should turn them off, because the inverter itself pulls power from your battery. Similar to this thing. When you are not using this thing to power your air condition or power your microwave or power your picking appliance or whatever in your trailer, or charge the batteries of your trailer, you should turn it off, because it uses power just doing nothing, just being on, because it's got a lot of battery management system in here. It's doing stuff all the time. So I'm already at 89% with 6 hours and some change left over, just pulling what I've pulled out of this battery so far. So what it has done, it has topped off my battery in my trailer, which is a giant battery. It's more battery than this right here. It has powered a coffee pot, powered my water heater, powering my big inverter. So it's pulling I'm pulling a lot of juice out of it just sitting here kind of static. Blair and I are going to go do some laundry, and I'm going to let this sit here and have some sun for a little while, and then I'll come back and test it out with some bigger power draws. Whenever these things get shipped to you, they arrive in a deep, dark slumber to keep the batteries healthy during shipping. It's like a bear in the winter, but a whole lot more lithium. When you receive one, to wake it up, you can't just yell at it and get it to wake up like I used to as a drill instructor. You have to stack the main unit on an extra battery, plug it into a wall, and hold the power button down for 2 seconds. And that's as easy as clicking into place. Did you hear the click? That's the sound of professional grade satisfaction. If you don't hear the click, you're just stacking up expensive paperweights. The base unit right here gives you 1,037 watt hours, but we bumped it up right here to the 3.2 kilowatt hours with this first expansion pack here, the first battery. Now, you can get this caddy over here that is just a caddy by itself. So this is a 3.2 kilowatt setup right here. And it's as tall as my knee. This one it's not even on the menu yet, but it's coming soon, is a 1,000 watt base. Is a same as this cart, but it has more, the wheels are more meant for smooth areas. These wheels are meant for rugged areas. So if you do decide you want a base power station, power unit, extra battery, you're gonna have to tow it on smooth ground. This one doesn't go across rocks very well. This one goes across rocks pretty nicely. I've done it in all this gravel around here today and on the concrete. Concrete's much easier, but my favorite thing about both carts is now I can take all of my electricity for a walk with Piper. And it's a little bit of a workout. This turns this 80-pound stack of power into a very tech-savvy suitcase. As I mentioned before, AirGear sends these really nice bags, but it also comes with this really nice rain cover because apparently electricity and water still don't get along, even in 2026. Who knew? Now, should you leave it out in the pouring rain? No, but a light mist or morning dew, the rain cover is your friend. The standard unit here, when you spin it around, has all the output sections here. And if 2200 watts is not good enough for you, there's an additional inverter that you can add to this to give yourself some extra Saurin inverter power. It's basically another stackable module that goes right along with all these other things that gives you another 2200 watts of AC output. It's essentially God mode for your appliances. Just remember, with great power comes great responsibility to not trip your own breakers. All right, folks, it's time for some real talk. I had a brilliant plan. I thought, I'll just charge the Saurin from the back of my truck because my truck has the 2 kilowatt inverter built into the truck with an inverter and all the things, and it has a plug right there in the back. And I thought, man, I'll just set this thing in the back of the truck, plug it up, charge it as I drive, get to my campsite, plug it into the trailer, use the Saurin, do all the things, plug it back in the truck as I drive. But no, the Saurin is a very, very, very sophisticated piece of equipment. And it has standards, very high standards. It has demands, very high demands of pure sine wave power, the organic grass-fed version of electricity. My truck puts out the modified sine wave version of electricity, which is basically the gas station hot dog version of electricity. One thing I've tried to learn is why this is the case. And the only thing I can come up with is that the ProPower onboard system is a 60 volt split phase design, and that often conflicts with the ground neutral sensors in these high-end power stations. That's the only thing I can figure out that may cause this issue. And some of you who have a trade wind or have other things like that may find the same issue in trying to run your RV with your truck. The Saurin looked at my truck's power and said, nope, I'd rather starve. So if you're planning on purchasing one of these to charge it from your vehicle, make sure that you have a high quality DC to DC charger or a pure sine wave inverter. I don't know of any vehicles specifically that come with that, but there may be some out there. Final verdict. The Saurin 3.2 kilowatt hour system is a beast. It's sleek, it's modular, and it fits the weird narrow closets of an RV where other power stations go to die. Just remember, stack it until it clicks. Do not use a neutral bonding ground plug because this thing will turn into a very expensive paperweight. Oh, and don't forget there's an app. You can monitor your power station from your phone like the tech god that you are. All right, folks. I want to talk about a few things outside of my script that I wrote, but it has a cool little light here that pops off, and this light gets brighter. And I love that I can take it around with me and then stick it to things if I need to. So it's really nice. I love this feature. This is something all power stations should do. It's fairly easy to use. The app requires a Wi-Fi connection to set it all up. So if you disconnect from Wi-Fi or you have it in, storage mode, I don't remember the name of that, but there's a storage mode for this thing, like warehouse mode or sleep mode or Sleeping Beauty. I'm not sure what it's called, but anyway, one of those things. The battery light goes silent, so it will not use any power whatsoever on anything. Now, let's talk about the app. I mentioned the app earlier, and I want to clear up why you actually want this thing connected to the internet. It's not just for show. First, it gives you full remote control and monitoring from anywhere, whether you're at the campfire or away from the rig. There are also some exclusive features that you can only get through the app, like silent charging mode, which is a lifesaver if you're sleeping right next to the unit. But here is the coolest part. If you ever have a technical hiccup, the team at AirGear can actually remotely diagnose it. As long as it's connected to the internet overnight and you give them the serial number from the back of the unit, they can look under the hood from their office and see what's going on. That is high level support you just don't see very often. I've cut this part out of the video, but I made a mistake. I was thinking you could only wake this thing up from warehouse mode using the app because the brain of the unit is essentially off to save power. But what you really have to do is get a physical jump start. And you have two options. You can plug it into a standard AC wall outlet, or you can connect it to a solar panel using the XT60 input. And if you're using a solar panel, it has to be producing at least 50 watts to trigger the wake up sequence. Once it fills that incoming power, the Saurin will officially exit warehouse mode and be ready for your next adventure. The neutral bonded grounded plug for this thing, like you would put on a generator, you do not need that. It will brick this system because it fries the board in here. You just need a standard dog bone if you're going to hook it up to a 50 amp trailer. Otherwise, you can hook it straight to the back with your 30 amp plug. There are 4 ports back here for standard, 15, 20 amp outlets, and you have a number of USB, a variety type of USBs, and a 12 volt cigarette lighter plug here. You can charge this by plugging it into a normal outlet. You can charge it by solar panels, which I did today, and it has its own overload protection because I overloaded it today. I pushed this thing to its limits. I ran my air conditioner with it, I ran the other air conditioner with it, I ran the microwave with it, I ran the coffee pot with it. I charged it up with solar power. I charged it up with just plugging it into the outlet here just to see the different variances and how fast it would charge. I know Ken and Rich at AirGear have used 2 of their big solar panels parallel to each other, hooked up to this thing, giving it a lot of watts, so that was pretty cool to see. And there's another video out there of another Airstreamer, so if you haven't seen that, I'll link it right here in the top of the screen and down in the video description down below, so please go check that video out. It's pretty interesting. Some of my favorite things about this system: I love that it's modular. I'm going to compare it to Blue Eddy because that's the only giant battery bank that I have with a 30 amp plug. So we do have a Blue Eddy in our travel van that we've used to run a lot of things. It's big and it's heavy. I can use it for a lot of things, but I really wish I'd had this system in my van instead of that, because I like its modularity, meaning I can take as many batteries as I need with me, or I can take as few batteries with me as I need for the purpose. Like today, I used it on my truck while I was doing some wiring up there. I can even use this Sorein device with my little portable heat shrink gun here, blow fret hair dryer. I needed to put a new piece of heat shrink up here, and I was able to turn this thing on just sitting up here on my hood. So very versatile. And another thing, it's really nice to see all of your devices and how much power they actually use. So if you don't have any type of portable device like this where you can plug your stuff into and see how many amps or watts it pulls or draws or uses or works with, it's pretty interesting, particularly in the RV community. So this really kind of gives you an idea how much power all your stuff really consumes. I love that I can also put it out here on the campsite on the picnic table to run, some portable appliances that I might have. But again, my favorite thing is that it's modular. If you want to stack up 4 or 5 batteries tall, you get all the power from all those batteries, and I think that's fantastic. And again, if you use the additional inverter, you get double the power and you get double the charge time. So, or I guess half the charge time, because it'll be double the power going in. So that's really, really cool feature. I like that it comes on its own cart. I love this new cart that's coming out, that additional 1,000 watt power station here. So that gives you some extra battery and extra room. You can use this at your home. You can use this in your garage. You can use this at your shop. You can use this in your RV. It's completely modular, not only in battery setup, but also in your use for it. Blair and I have a condo in Salt Lake City, and I have a different style of inverter, cart charger, solar generator kind of thing we call them. But it's plugged in at my house and the wall outlet, so that keeps the battery full. But it's also plugged up to my home internet. I have a wireless home internet in that condo. And when the power goes out, this charger deal, the one that we have there, takes over and it powers my home internet for a week, if the power's out for a week. Why do I do that? Is because we have battery operated cameras in that thing outside on the porch and inside, so I can continue to look at my cameras, my security cameras, while I'm away should the power be out. Also, if you have a fridge and you've been through an ice storm in this past winter, or you've been through a power outage in the summertime when all the stuff happens, or hurricanes or whatever you've been through, and you had a multi-day power outage and you want to run your fridge, charge your phone, charge your laptop, get your internet moving, things like that, you can use these power stations for that too. So not only is it great in your rig, it's also great in your home use. as a backup power source or as a pass-through power source for your things that you need to keep running regardless of the power at your home. If I were to buy this today, I would start with a 3.2 kilowatt version. I would also have a 200, at a minimum, a 200 watt portable solar panel to plug into it to charge it. Here's how I see using this thing most of all. You take yourself out to boondocking. You put this in the back of your tow vehicle. You get out in the wilderness. You set your solar panel up for the best angle for the noon and afternoon sun. You take your Sorein Power Station and you set it under your side somewhere. You run your power cable to it. You plug it in. You do the things you like to do in the morning, such as make coffee, run your microwave for a little while, maybe run an air fryer or something like that. Then you turn it off completely, disconnect it from your trailer. Then you let the sun charge the batteries back up. Then in the afternoon, you make a little meal, you cook something in the microwave, you do a little thing, then you let it charge some more. When it's in its hottest part of the day and you really need some air conditioning for a couple of hours, an hour, 30 minutes, if you want to run it for 5 hours, you got to get the whole 7.2 kilowatt system. And on that note, I also encourage you to go to the website and check out all the functions. They did a wonderful job on there of showing you, all right, here's what a base station can do. Here's what a base station plus a battery can do. Base station plus 2 batteries can do, all the way down. And it gives you the system, you know, the biggest kilowatt system that they like to have and people like to have. But it's a stack of batteries this tall. But you can run your air conditioner for 5 hours on that. But know that when you finish running it for 5 hours, you're going to have a very depleted battery. So if you're going to get all the things and you want to run all the air conditioning, to know that you should probably have more than 2 solar panels. And you should have an ability to recharge. So can you run your air conditioner? Yes. Can you run your microwave? Yes. Can you run both air conditioners? No. So don't do that. It will overload the system. Again, I tried today. And again, as an asterisk, my trailer is differently wired than all of your trailers. This thing, when I plug it up to my trailer, it tries to charge my big old battery and run my system. So that's how I overloaded it. I didn't overload it by trying to run both air conditioners because I knew that wasn't feasible. It tries to send all the power and charge my big old 460 amp hour battery that I have, and power my inverter, and power whatever else is going on in the trailer. So the way my trailer is wired up, I can't use as a pass-through setup anymore. But if you have your standard inverter in your rig and your standard converter in your rig, you can probably charge your batteries a little bit while you're running something, but mine just pulls too much power at one time. So I love these carts. I love the handles. They're super easy to use. And I'm very impressed. I really am very impressed. And I know there's a lot of you out there who are looking to my advice to buy one of these or not. Do your research and find out how you plan to use your camper. You know, maybe this system is the right answer for you, but you need to see what the max output is at the 30 amp breaker here compared to another device that you might buy. I can speak on Blue Eddy because we have a big Blue Eddy. I will tell you that I love the stackability and modular style of this way better than the Blue Eddy. There are some features, like I really like the Blue Eddy app more so than I like the app for this. I do not like that I have, if I wanted to have a second battery bank for my Blue Eddy, it's a cable connect. It doesn't stack and nest and nicely like this. No other brand out there that I'm aware of has this cool little light that I can move around and use if I need to. So I really like that feature. The screen is easy to read. The controls are easy to operate. It's very simple to use. It comes with a very nice quick start guide. I dig it. I really do. And for those of you, speaking of the Blue Eddy, it's a big, heavy, bulky thing. I love this fact that I pop these little things open right here. I unlock this particular side of the battery. I pick this thing up and I can walk around with this no problem. I put it in the bag. Once I'm done with that system, I unlock this one from the base. And then I take this off the base and I put this in its own bag. So I get a bag for each one of these and I can maneuver these battery banks around fairly easily and stack them in my truck or stack them into my trunk or stack them inside the trailer, because I would have no problem carrying this system in this bag inside my trailer if I needed to, because it's not going to scratch the floor. It's not going to bang up the floor. You just got to be mindful of where you put the weight. I always want to remember, you always want to do heavy things up front, but it still fits nicely in the back of my tow vehicle in my truck, or back seat of my truck, or in the bed of my truck, wherever it might need to go. But really handy system. Again, modular aspect of it is so fantastic. I'm a huge fan. Start with a 3.2 kilowatt. If that is not enough for your needs, try out a bigger battery. Get one more battery, get 2 more batteries. Again, if you want to spend the money to do like we did and put the big inverter, the 3,000 watt inverter and 460 amp hours of battery in your rig and do all the wiring of all the things that I did, depending on what you choose, this is a 12 to 17,000, maybe a little bit more, somewhere in that range, 12 to 17,000 system on my trailer, just in power. This system is, you know, $800 to $3,400, depending on how many batteries you buy. This is a much less invasive system on your rig. If you're super worried about weight, meaning you're already at your max gross weight rating because of whatever you've done to your trailer and you need a little bit more power, or you have a tow vehicle that can only tow a smaller trailer and you can't add more weight to your trailer because your hitch weight's already enough, maybe this thing will be fine for sitting in the back of your tow vehicle and carrying around. But if you car camp, tent camp, van camp, any kind of camp, these modular systems are really, really fantastic for that. You can take what you need to power the things that you need for that camping trip and leave all the rest at home. So again, I love it. I really do love it. And I'm so honored and thankful that they let me test this thing out. So I put it through the ringer. Again, you can't bring your house habits to your RV. If you try to do that with water or power, you're going to quickly be disappointed. So I can't run my air conditioner all day long on battery, no matter what system I had, whether it's the $12,000 to $17,000 system I put in my trailer, or whether it's the money to spend on all this stuff here, or whatever you do. I can't just run stuff all day long because I don't have enough power. And Airstreams don't have enough weight or roof real estate to put enough solar up there to do all those things either. So many people are so confused about their ability to camp off grid with the solar that they have or with the batteries that they have and all those things. So before you go investing a lot of money on building something in the trailer or buying a system like this, here's the best thing I can tell you to do. Come to an RV park where you have water hookups, sewer hookups, power hookups. Make sure your battery's at 100%. Fill up your freshwater tank with fresh water. Make sure your black and gray are empty. Then go disconnect from shore power and turn on your water pump, which you should be doing anyway, not hook to city water all the time. That's just Brad's advice.
Yeah.
Once you are full of water and full of power, then just boondock sitting in the campsite. See how your solar does. See how your water consumption goes. See how quickly you kill your batteries. Turn your inverter on to do inverter things and turn your inverter back off. You obviously can't run your air conditioner or your microwave, but that will give you some sense of, hey, I lasted 3 days on water, or I lasted 1 hour on water, or I lasted 2 hours on power, or whatever. Because when you kill the battery or you run out of water or you fill your tanks, you can just quickly go outside, correct all that, and start anew. So you do your power and water audit. Once you've done with that, then you can see, hey, I do need more battery. Hey, I would like to have a bigger inverter to run my air conditioner for a little bit, or my microwave. Hey, I would like to have, whatever the systems is, and you can figure that out doing a boondock sitting in a real campsite. So that'll give you some idea of the things you need to spend money on to meet your needs. Hey, and very thankful to Rich and Cheryl and Ken from AirGear for allowing me to test this thing out and spending time with me yesterday answering all of my questions about it. I very much appreciate their willingness to let me participate in all the things. So I love the folks at AirGear. I love all the gear that they have. And I'd like to remind all of you about things from AirGear. So if you use your camper this summer or this past camping season in this storage right now, but you realize, hey, I wish we would have really had a shade and a solar shade, or I need a new hose, a water hose, or I need a new teak shower mat, or you need a new set of locks for all of your compartments that all the keys match and they're unique to you, not everybody else's trailer in the world, or you need a rivet repair kit or whatever. AirGear has so many wonderful things. So if you have not checked out their website, please go do so. And I invite you to test out the Sorein Power Station for yourself. All right, I have rambled enough. I love you all. Thank you all very much for making me a part of your day. And thank you for your trust in me to bring you products like this. And go check out AirGear. If you have not checked them out, go check them out. The website's great. All the things are great. I love those guys. I've been a fan of them since I got the very first Airstream, because the very first Airstream gift I was ever given, was a product from AirGear. It was a rivet kit. Because somebody bought one. I was like, you're going to need this at some point. Here's your brand new rivet kit. Welcome to the Airstream community. And I very much appreciate that. That was from the Edwards family. Love you guys, and I hope to see you again soon. But anyway, have a wonderful night and a wonderful day or wonderful morning, whatever time it is for you when you're watching this. But I will see you all next week. Bye.